One day you decide to catch a ride with Uber with your friends to go out for the night. And then boom, you get involved in an accident and the Uber driver is at fault. What do? Recently, I had a client of mine who was involved in an accident as he was a passenger in an Uber car. What happened is that my client was going from home to the local restaurant to meet his friends. And as the driver was driving down the street, he fell asleep and passed the red light and hit the other driver. Right after the accident, the Uber driver tried to protect himself and say that number one, he wasn't at fault for the accident and he didn't fall asleep. Number two, he tried to argue the fact that he wasn't even working at the time of the accident and they were just giving this guy a ride as a favor and that the guy was his friend. Number three, he kept trying to change the version of how the accident had happened. You need to make sure that once you get into an Uber car as a passenger, that the Uber driver turns on the app. Once that app turns on, you're now actually protected by his insurance coverage for the accident. Sometimes Uber drivers will try to pocket the money themselves and keep all the money rather than giving the portion to Uber. If that happens and you become a victim of that, you're not entitled and you're not going to be covered by his insurance coverage at all. Meaning, if he's at fault, the $1 million insurance policy that Uber has for liability coverage will not cover you. The person's own personal insurance coverage will cover you because he was acting not as an Uber driver, but as a regular person working. So in this case, we made sure to get the Uber app and make sure that it was turned on to protect our client's rights so he was covered under the policy. Because the person who we hit, number one, did not have insurance. Even though he wasn't at fault, he did not have insurance. You need to make sure also that when you're in the car, most of the Uber drivers have cameras in the car that record the front and rear of the car moving. Make sure after the accident to ask for the driver to send you a copy of the video right there and then. If he refuses, make sure to call the local authorities to come down and secure the video. That video might be the most crucial evidence you have of putting the right person at fault for the accident to secure your settlement. And number three, make sure after the accident you talk to the Uber driver yourself and get his version of what happened. Because no matter what happens as a passenger in the car, you're always fault free. Whether the other person is at fault or the Uber is at fault. But you want to make sure that if Uber is at fault, the app is on. So under these circumstances that we had, the Uber driver's tactics didn't work. We got a copy of the video. We made sure that we get a recording of the app that was on, and a client got the reimbursement that it was entitled to as he had suffered major brain injuries, where the insurance company kept saying that was not related to the accident. However, after a year and a half in the litigation and working on the case, we ended up getting the $1 million coverage for a client to make him whole as a result of the accident. Hi, my name is Shamsi. I've been practicing law in the state of California, handling Uber cases, Lyft drivers, and third-party vehicles. Make sure you contact our office if you've been injured in an accident by an Uber, Lyft, or third-party vendor to make sure we protect your rights and to get you fully compensated for all your injuries under the law. If you've been involved in an accident as a passenger in a vehicle by Uber, Lyft, or a third-party vendor, make sure that after the accident to get the proper documentations, meaning that the app of the driver was on. Try to get the video recording of the person's car who was driving the car to record how the accident happened. You can contact our office if you've been injured by a motor vehicle accident by Uber, Lyft, or a third party, so you can protect your rights and get the compensation you deserve. Also, our office will not charge you a penny until you get paid. That means we work as a team together to make sure you get paid. Once you get paid, it's when we get paid.